ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base Advanced Figure Preview video. Now today we are taking a look at another prototype that hasn't gone up for pre-order yet, and it's one that has set the internet on fire. People are going crazy for King Shark, me included. This guy is one chonky boy, and personally, I hope this one is fast-tracked and put into production and put up for pre-order over and above all the rest. This guy, to me, actually stole the show. Now, they have made some very interesting concessions here, and we will discuss them throughout the course of this video. But just know that right off the bat, the hype for Suicide Squad is going through the roof, and this guy in particular is one that a lot of people are gravitating towards. McFarlane is releasing their chonky, big ultimate version of King Shark as well. By the way, let me know if you'd like to see a review of him on the channel, because a store local to me actually just got him in stock, the standalone platinum version. But nevertheless, we are here to discuss the Hot Toys King Shark. If you'd asked me before this convention, Justin, are we going to get any Suicide Squad figures, and also which characters? King Shark would not have been on the list. I would have absolutely said Harley Quinn, at least 2 different versions, one in the red dress and one in the bomber jacket, and then potentially Peacemaker because he is getting his own spin-off show, so there is a little bit of longevity there with that release, and maybe Bloodsport with an Idris Elba head sculpt, but that's it. I wouldn't have gone any further down the line. But with Hot Toys showing us this King Shark prototype as early as they have, and omitting those other characters, I reckon it's a pretty big vote of confidence for the more obscure characters in the film. Who knows, the people at Hot Toys may have already seen the film, and because it's directed by James Gunn and is being received very, very well by the critics already, they could be internally working on a pretty big roster of characters from the film. At least, that's all speculation by me based on just seeing this one prototype. But it makes me incredibly happy that DC is finally going to get a film that is probably going to be very well received by critics and fans. We have gotten films that have teetered that line very nicely with Shazam and Wonder Woman, and others that haven't done as well, but hopefully this film is treated as a resurgence for DC film. I personally am very, very excited to see it. Now, as for accessories, it's worth noting that this figure is handled a little bit differently to a normal bigger style figure like a Hulk, for instance. This guy, I think, will be a power pose release. More on that in just a second. It looks like he is going to come with 2 interchangeable hands, and also a regular human-sized book. I am assuming this book plays some significance in the film. Of course, we don't have to wait very long. This film is going to be out in 2 to 3 weeks' time, depending, of course, on when you watch this video. So yeah, hopefully we get a little bit of context as to why exactly he comes with this book. Maybe it's something he reads while he's in prison wearing these, his prison shorts. I initially said in my tour that they looked very, very large, and they still do, but the figure himself could be even more chonky than first expected, therefore they could fit on, and also they could be slightly baggy, perhaps. Maybe it was an orange sheet that they turned into a pair of shorts for King Shark here. Now, as for the figure himself, taking a look at the feet, you can see there's literally just a swivel cut at the feet. Therefore, that's why I'm thinking he is a power pose release. But before you get out your pitchforks and tell me it's horrendous, why would they do this? Tell me this: if he was covered in entirely a rubbery style skin material, and it meant that if you bent the arms and legs, he would crack and crease over time, and he couldn't have had anywhere near as much texture and skin detail on there, would you have preferred that? Would you have put him in crazy dynamic poses? Would you rather him to be fully jointed so you have all these seams and creases everywhere, rather than being as voluptuous and rotund and lovable as he is? I know I personally would prefer to go with power pose and preserve the look, rather than go the other way and he not look quite right. but as it stands, this prototype looks absolutely fantastic. There is so much texture going on here, and then the paint application process is very subtle, but also really well done. There's skin imperfections, and there's different colorations to the darker parts and the lighter parts, and his hands have these little webbed pieces. Of course, he's a shark that's been through some kind of evolution. I don't exactly know the full story about King Shark, but they've nailed it here with this figure. He has the gills on the side of his head there, and one big honkin' fin on his back. Some people told me that he's supposed to have fins on his arms as well. I don't think I've seen that based off the trailers where we see him. I mean, there's a very clear shot where he puts up his hand and says, "hand," and there weren't any fins there, so I'm pretty sure this is spot on to the film. And by the way, that's kind of the exact pose they have him in here, and I love it. Now, even though his head is a very, very simplistic design, you can still tell that there's a lot of emotion here. He's got so much personality. He's got these big honkin' chompers as well. Of course, he's a shark, and the best part is they are really well detailed. Some people were again speculating that he'll have an opening and closing jaw. I don't think that's the case whatsoever. You can already see at the shoulders, they're literally just swivels backward and forward. If they were going to do rubbery overlays, they would have just gone all out with articulation anyway. And I don't think we've ever seen this much skin texture in any rubbery style pieces before. I mean, we have seen skin texture. Yes, I'm looking at the most recently released David Harbour Hellboy figure, and that was awesome. But it was nowhere near this level of surface detail. I mean, just look at that shot right there. We have the nostrils, we've got the gills, we've got the big honkin' teeth, and then we have this skin-cracking texture to replicate a shark's actual flesh. And it looks awesome. So yes, you can call me a shill or a Hot Toys fanboy or whatever for not caring that they haven't put in a whole bunch of articulation, but at the end of the day, you're watching these videos to get my opinion. And my opinion, whether you believe it or not, is that this guy, as a power pose figure, works better than a fully articulated 1/6 scale release, because we don't have to contend with any of those rubbery style pieces. Do let me know what you think of King Shark though down in the comments below, and if he does go up for pre-order, I will include the link down in the description below for toyswonderland.com. Also, while you are down there, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.